Thank you. Thank you very much. It's always nice to be here. I'm going to sing a song that I think all of us can relate to. And I ask you not to just enjoy the song, but take it into your heart and share it. Share it. If ever I was called to lead the masses, what kind of revolution would I lead? Before I change the world and take some action, I'd have to change the world inside of me. Now everyone has got their own opinions on how to rearrange the other woman and man. But if we see the things we have in common, perhaps we drop our fists and lend a hand. 'Cause just like Martin, we have a dream. And just like Gandhi, we want peace. Like Mother Teresa, we want love. God grant us courage to rise above. Many dreamers paved the way before us, and yet it seems that we have just begun. If we could look beyond into the future, tell me, what would the people say that we have done? 'Cause just like Martin, we have a dream. And just like Gandhi, we want peace. Like Mother Teresa, we want love. God grant us courage to rise above. The key to our future is within our hands. Let's join together in every land. 'Cause just like Martin, we have a dream. And just like Gandhi, we want peace. Like Mother Teresa, we want love. God grant us courage to rise above. Just like Martin, we have a dream. And just like Gandhi, we want peace. Like Mother Teresa, we want love. God grant us courage to rise above. God grant us courage to rise above. Have you read the papers lately? Have you heard the news? Do you wonder if there's anything that you can do? Oh, be the change you wanna see. Now's the time to let it be. Starting here, starting now. Trust your heart to show you how you can be the change. If you wanna be the change, you gotta be the change that you wanna see. Yeah. And a flower, watch it grow. You will reap what you sow. Put that smile on your face. Make the world a better place. You gotta be the change. You wanna be the change. You gotta be the change that you wanna see. Yeah. I believe it's possible to live in harmony. Yeah. Making music in a universal band. Yes, we can. Every tribe and every religion in every land. We can live together. Yes, we can. Ooh, be the change. If you wanna see the change, well then you gotta be the change. If you wanna see, hey, hey, you gotta be it, the change. Well, if you wanna see it, the change, you gotta be it, the change. Change if you wanna see. Come on, be it, the change. You know you wanna see it, the change. You wanna be it, the change. Gotta be it. Come on, stand up and be it, the change. Stand up, you gotta be it, the change. Stand up and be it.
Hello, Purple Heart Consciousness holders. This is Reverend Jerry Hobby, and I am just so happy to be with you. This is day 2 of our celebration of a season for nonviolence. And of course, Purple Heart is taking the lead. And in its lead, we are celebrating 64 days of peace and personal empowerment for ourselves as well as for all of humanity. And so today is Sunday, and Sunday is a very special day. But what makes this day extraordinary is today is our opening for a season for nonviolence. So I'm sharing this message with you because I am really celebrating a season for nonviolence in a divine way. I am participating with Mary Morrissey this weekend in its Dream Builder Live program. What a wonderful way to celebrate nonviolence and peace, getting clear within my being about abundance and prosperity, and also acknowledging the beauty of abundance and peace and prosperity in every area of my life, in my life area of health, in the life area of relationships, in my career, in my finances. It is everywhere. And so today I'm so grateful because we are working with the core value of smiling. And smiling has a lot to do with the way we feel, and it has a lot to propelling good to ourselves. So, with me today, I have Catherine Redmond. And Kathy, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fabulous. I'm filled with joy today, and I've been smiling all day.
Wonderful. I'm so glad that you have been smiling all day, and you'll be joining me too with Mary Morrissey. Isn't that
Ye-
correct?
yes, it is.
Uh,
I'm so excited.
Wonderful. That brings joy. And the last time you were with Mary, that experience had a profound impact on you, and you made a quantum leap. And as
Yes,
a result of that quantum leap, you had an opportunity to experience good in terms of you had surgery on your knee and you are progressing and moving even more than you were before you were with her. Is that correct?
absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
So, that says that there's value in spiritual practice.
Oh, definitely.
Hmm. And there's
Definitely.
a lot of value in spiritual practice. And that's the reason we're doing what we're doing. And
Hmm.
that's the reason we're celebrating this season. And we're also focusing on empowerment. Do you have a special reading for us today?
I do, and it's one that makes me smile every time I read it. And it says, all things are made whole, and thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind, and thy neighbor as thyself. And that's from Mark. And then Ernest Holmes goes on to say, when we let the love that is written in us out to the God who is in all people and the divine presence that is in all things, then we are loving with all our heart, and we know that our soul and mind, because we are recognizing that spirit within us is the same spirit that we meet in others. This is a loving our neighbors as ourself. The love that is within me goes out to the God who is with all people. I recognize the divine presence everywhere. I know it. I know it responds to me, and I know that there is a law of good, a law of love, forever forgiving itself to me. This divine and perfect law is circulating through me now. Its rhythm is in my heartbeat. Its perfection is manifest in every organ, action, and function of my physical body. Love and perfect life circulate through everything. This love and this life I accept as the truth about myself now and forever.
Wow. You know what? As you were reading, we could hear a little noise in the background. It sounded like a phone. And
It was.
well, the interesting thing is when we start to focus on peace and prosperity and
Mm-hmm.
all of these wonderful things that are part of a season for nonviolence, especially when we're smiling. The great thing is we can attract more good and be a tipping point of
Mm-hmm.
good. Thich Nhat Hanh says, if in your daily life we smile, not only we, but everyone will profit from it. This is the most basic kind of peace work. So I'm so grateful that you're participating on this journey, this sacred journey, in this particular way. And I thank you for that thought for today. If
Mm-hmm.
you were to light a candle right now, Kathy, what would you light that candle for? Where would you like to see light in the world?
I would like to see light in the world with people getting along and taking all of the strife away from you said, we said, they said, and just love one another.
Mhm.
Just really appreciate each other for being divine emanations of God, because that's what they are. And
Wow.
where one meets the other, it is God meeting God.
Well, that's a true representation of Karen Drucker's song. I see the beauty in you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's part of what peace is all about. And this is what that process of smiling is all about. Have you ever had an experience where you were on the telephone and you're talking to someone, you don't see them, but you can hear the smile? You can
Yes.
feel the smile. That's what this is all about. So, for everyone that is on this prayer app and everyone that is part of Seed FM and also our Facebook audience, we're feeling your smile right now. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
And now that we've heard from our Catherine Redmond, now it's time for us to hear from the elder in our community. And the elder in our community is our wonderful Patty Walton. And so, Patty, what is it that you have to share with us today?
Okay, I have a reading from Acts of Faith. It states, "Speak your truth and speak it quick." It's a quote from Michael Cornelius. Saying what you really think, feel, or believe is often difficult. Usually, you don't want to hurt other people's feelings. Even when they infuriate you, you don't want to make someone mad. The real truth of the matter is, somewhere deep down inside, you don't believe your feelings are right, in quotations, or that you have the right to feel the way you do. When you're when you hold on to feelings, you become angry, fearful, and confused. When you don't say what is on your mind, you will be prone to gossip, rebel, or commit acts of betrayal against yourself and others. The only way to free yourself from the stress of not saying what you think is to speak your truth with love, clarity, and conviction, and to speak it quickly with a conscious tongue. I speak my truth from my heart.
Wow, what great wisdom. Speaking from that place of love and speaking from your heart space. That really does make a difference. And it is all a part of creating a space of a world that works for everyone. And it is also an opportunity for us to really practice nonviolence in a deep and a profound way.
So
Often,
true.
mhm, often I think about Gandhi and I think about the work he did. And many years ago, um, there were a group of people, they were going to protest at the salt mine, and we knew that these people were very angry. If you've ever seen the movie, they were very angry. And Gandhi met them. And he met them there at a crossroad. And he looked and he says, "We won't do this protest today." And the reason he said he would not do the protest that day was he could see the anger on their face. He could see the anguish. And so that was not the intention in terms of what they were going to do. They weren't going to hurt or harm. They were going to be in a space of love in peaceful protest for what was not working and focusing on what the possibilities could be. So I love this story and thank you, Patty.
Quite welcome. My pleasure.
So I want to thank Patty for her wonderful share, and the conversation is rich, and we want to continue in that same consciousness. Our theme for 2021, it is a global theme, and it is timeless wisdom, evolutionary vision. And today we're talking about looking above. Looking above means that we must rise above. And rising above calls for us to be in a space where we are able to practice from a place of non-violence. That's the reason I'm so happy that our Purple Heart has adopted the theme of a season for peace and offering 64 prayers based on core concepts that really fortify and support us in the practice of nonviolence. And when we practice nonviolence, what we are doing is we're practicing that presence of love. It is simply the presence of love and anchoring it in a practical way. And we have so many stories about disenfranchisement, but part of that process is learning how to rise above and to allow for teachable moments within ourselves and within everyone that we come into contact with. That's the reason it was important for me to have Tina Meeks be the anchor of that, because she speaks truly to the vision of a world that does work for everyone. I love, just like Martin, we have a dream, and it is the fulfillment of the dream. And it is also like Gandhi that it is important for us to be the change we want to see in the world. And as we practice being the change we want to see in the world, what we will find is that life will soften itself. We'll be able to greet life with a greater sense of warmth. But that warmth begins within each and every one of us. A few years ago, Reverend Masando Hiroka shared this thought in the Science Mind magazine, and it was about love, the art of being human. And he says, underneath our plans, underneath our need to control, there is a deeper life awaiting to emerge. And this is about our learning how to allow for a deeper life to emerge within us. Joe Goldsmith says we must stop making graven images in our minds and stop picturing what God is like and trust the unformed invisible, which penetrates the impenetrable traits all beings. In other words, what we get to do is we get to be mindful of the gift of the voice, the thought that we have, and be mindful of the patterns that we're setting in motion. When Gandhi said no to the people that came with their pipes and everything to go to the salt mines and protest because of their anger, he says, I get to be a bigger person than this. And as a leader of this movement, I am going to make a different choice. I'm going to invite my people to calm down before we move forward. This is an important stepping stone. And as we move forward right now, as we begin to unify more as a collective, it is important that we learn how to come from a space of unconditional love. And it is also important for us to learn the value of being in a place of safety. Now, for me, being in a place of safety is being able to allow the presence to go before me and prepare the way. Many years ago, my nephew came to live with me, and he had been he spent the majority of his school life fighting. And part of the reason he spent the majority of his school life fighting was because he'd been teased, he had been neglected, and he really did not feel that he fit in. And I invited him to come and stay with us the last 2 years of his school year, those primary years, and when he was in high school. And one of the things we would do is get up every morning. And every morning when we get up, we would pray. And the last words that he would receive from us was to maintain his peace. Now, I say that maintaining our peace has a lot to do with practicing these core concepts. So today, the core concept, the core value we're working with is smiling. So we allow a presence to go before us and prepare the way. That nephew, by the way, we've revisited that thought again and again throughout his life. He's in his 30s right now. And we continue to have the conversation about maintaining our peace. And when you allow for that time to maintain your peace, your life completely transforms. He went from having a fight every day to having maybe 2 incidents in 1 year, and it continued the next year. That is what happens when we start to greet life from a place of warmth, from a place of love. Now, I'll tell you, one of the most important parts of that whole process had to do with smiling. And that's our theme for today. It is about smiling. And the Dalai Lama says, a simple smile, that's the start of opening heart and being compassionate to others. And because he was able to be compassionate to others, it started first within him, learning how to be compassionate with himself. He has such a beautiful smile. And it was so sweet to see him flower in that way from being angry to that space of opening up and just feeling the love. That is an important part. The Buddhist teacher, Thich Nhat Hanh, and during that time period, we did have an opportunity to go and see Thich Nhat Hanh. He can say he had that experience. And he says that in your daily life, we can smile. Not only we, but everyone will profit from it. This is the basic kind of peace work. What I noticed in this young man was his heart opened up wider. And when we'd stand in line and he'd see people that were a little antsy, he says, Auntie, let's let them go ahead of us. We got plenty of time. He was in that place and anchored. What I've seen too is that he's grown to be such a rich presence. He's now a father, and the care and that consciousness that he brings to the care of his beloved, his child, is just refreshing. Because when we practice smiling, what we do is we open the world up in a greater way. So, with that in mind, I'm going to invite you right now to take a moment, and I want you to hear Larry Hobby sing Smile.
Hello, everybody. This song that I'm going to sing for you is called Smile. And it brought back memories from many years ago when I was working in real estate. And I remember my company was on the first floor and there was another company on the second floor. And there seemed to be a problem with the parking. And I remember my brother, as a real estate broker, was having some really arguments with one of the people from the company upstairs. So he told me to go out and handle it. So I went out with a smile. And I talked to the person, and the person didn't want to give me any attention, didn't want to look my way. But after that, every morning, when that person would come in and I would happen to come in around or in the parking lot at the same time, I would speak to that person, even though the person didn't want to speak to me. But I spoke anyway, and I smiled. And this went on. And eventually, this person started to seek me out and tell me good morning with a smile. So a smile is very infectious. If you smile, it's contagious. And people will feel that from you because a smile is a lot of positive energy. So always smile no matter what's going on in your life. Just smile. Smile, though your heart is aching. Smile, even though it's breaking. When there are clouds in the sky, you'll get by. If you smile through your fear and sorrow, smile and maybe tomorrow you'll see the sun come shining through for you. Light up your face with gladness. Hide every trace of sadness. Although a tear may be ever so near, that's the time you must keep on trying. Smile, what's the use of crying? You'll find that life is still worthwhile if you just smile. That's the time you must keep on trying. Smile, what's the use of crying? You'll find that life is still worthwhile if you just smile. Remember to smile, everyone. Smiling is healing. Thank you.
With that in mind right now, I'm just inviting you to just simply breathe with me. And as we breathe right now, I invite you to just move into that place of heart focused breathing. And as we move into that place of heart focused breathing, I just invite you to simply just imagine your heart being refreshed by your breath, sweeping away any angst, any sense of separation, and just moving into a place of self care. And I want you to remember and recall an experience of personal care where you were lifted up to the place of the very Most High. And just bring that feeling forward right now. And as you're bringing that feeling forward, I'm inviting you to just amplify that feeling of care. Allow it to penetrate and move through your entire being, to mold itself within your body temple. To shake away any sense of separation, any sense of anger. Just breathe. And as we open ourselves up today, simply acknowledging the power and the presence of the divine, I'm inviting you, if you feel comfortable, to just close your eyes or keep your eyes open. And I'm inviting you to just lift your eyes up. And as you lift them up, I'm inviting you to look up, to open up to the infinite possibilities that dwell within us, to open up and allow the presence of the divine to expand itself and reveal itself. And as we open ourselves up and allow for it to expand itself in this space of peace, in this space of the infinite, I just take this moment now and just allow for that wonderful energy, that wonderful vibration to expand itself right now. And just like Gandhi in his dream for peace, and Martin in their dream for peace, the overcoming of that essence expanding itself right now. And so, in my sacred remembrance, I remember people standing for peace, sleeping in the street for peace, and even people in my household coming from all over the world in the care for a little girl who was 4 years old. Myself, Reverend Jerry. And in this very moment, right here, right now, I'm just acknowledging the presence and the peace that has gone before and prepared the way, that has anchored me into the person that I am now. And in this very moment, I'm acknowledging that peace and that power and that strength that is everywhere. I'm acknowledging that wonderful presence that has fulfilled itself even in stories that we're not even hearing right now. But in the story of Gandhi's life and in his protest from Africa to India. And what I'm acknowledging is that same energy vibrating within all the peacekeepers that have created that space and the honoring of peace and the practice of nonviolence. And what I'm knowing is that that same power is alive, it unifies and it fulfills itself and it fortifies itself in every part of life. And what I'm knowing is too, in this very moment, every single person that is hearing this prayer, every single person that is a part of this experience, and even those that we're thinking of right now, that they are all lifted up, just as I am lifted up to the place of the Most High. I am one with the divine. We are all one with the divine. And so I'm speaking my word this day, knowing that the presence of a smile is the energy and the vibration of infinite wisdom. And I know that that presence of a smile shows up and shines forth right here and right now for every single person. That whatever is going on in their life, any sense of adversity, any sense of separation, that the beauty of a smile fulfills itself. And so in this very moment, I just warm my heart and I focus on the smile and the inspiration of spirit in action right now within my body temple, knowing that my body temple is so much more than it appears to be. And so I greet my body and I anchor my body in the space of love, in that space where spirit fulfills itself and enriches itself. I'm acknowledging the beauty of that smile right now as the rejuvenator of wholeness. I'm acknowledging that smile as the divine energy that brings order in the midst of chaos. I'm acknowledging that presence right now, fulfilling itself within our COVID vaccines with clarity, wisdom, and light. I'm acknowledging the spirit of the divine as the beauty of life overflowing. And I know that that energy I'm speaking of right now, the faith, the hope, the love, that vibration is the same vibration touching every single person all over the world, whether they're living with someone or whether they're all alone. but I know that there is the gentle caress of love in action. And in this gentle caress of love in action, I know that there is a peace that passeth all understanding. And it is this peace that fulfills itself. It is this peace that enriches itself. And it is this peace that reveals itself right here and right now. And as we breathe and as we smile, I know that the consciousness of perfect love is overflowing. The consciousness of that divine light of truth fills itself to the brim, and it reveals itself in all relationships, in our relationship with ourselves, in our relationships with all of our beloveds, those that we are close to and we're in close contact with, and even those that may be far away. But what I'm knowing is that that presence of love is the healing power. It is the warmth that touches every single one. And so, in this very moment, right here, right now, I'm just acknowledging that presence within every single family member, those that I've spoken to, and even those that I have not. It is alive right now. And I know that each is blessed and lifted up to the place of the Most High. But what I know is that greatest love, the greatest love within myself, fulfills itself, and I breathe and I smile. And in this very moment, I know that that same energy is the divine blessing, and it is that energy fulfilling itself within every seeming need in my life. I know that every need is met. I'm blessing this right now within our household and through every household. And I know that every single need, whether it is the light bill, whether it is the mortgage or the rent, I know that the presence of the divine is anchored there, and I smile and I greet it. And I know that in this very moment, there is the perfect answer, there is the perfect outworking, and I know that there is a peace that passeth all understanding. I'm acknowledging the beauty of spirit. And in that beauty of spirit, right here, right now, I know that the gentle awareness and the beauty of that awareness fulfills itself within our bank accounts. I know that it fulfills itself within everyone we come into contact with. I know that it is the perfect answer to anything that has to do with family or ourselves or anything that is happening in the world. And in this space, right here, right now, I just honor everything and everyone with that place of love and gratitude. I give thanks and I smile, for I know that the presence of the divine is fully orbed. It is alive in this moment. And I know that in this moment, something powerful has set itself in motion. And I'm most grateful for the beauty of spirit in action. And as we move into this place of gratitude right here, right now, I simply release these words into the action of universal law, knowing it is perfect and knowing it is good. And together we all affirm and we say these sacred words. And so it is. Amen. Amen. Ashe. And Aho. And so, as I look into your eyes, my beloved, I'm just so grateful. And I thank you all for showing up today. And I'm going to invite you to continue to show up. Download the prayer app, because over the next 64 days, we have 62 more days. We're going to be practicing prayer. And my goal is for everyone to join us in prayer. Now, there are a lot of things that are taking place during our season for nonviolence. I want you to take a moment and hear a few announcements about some of the things that are unfolding.
Hello there, it's Kathy, and I'm wanting to bring to you some very exciting news, I think. We're going to be starting a Bible study on the parables starting February 11th at 6:30 Pacific time. And I'm just so delighted to be able to be your host and your moderator for this, because these are the life's lessons that were taught to us through the Bible that help to give us that expression so that we can live day to day, because those stories told stories of how to live our lives on a daily basis. And so I'm just so excited to be doing that. And we're going to be joined by people across the states, and who knows, maybe the world. We would welcome that greatly. And we will be starting in just a little under 2 weeks. So I hope you can make it and have a blessed time with us, just like we plan on having one with you.
Hello, my name is Gracie Alvarado, and I am a member of the Spiritual Enlightenment and Truth Focused Ministry Leadership Team. I serve as the Prosperity Manager, and my job is to manage the funds for the programs we bring to you. If you enjoyed this spiritual practice, please consider making a donation. You can make a one-time donation or a recurring donation. However, if you choose to make a recurring donation, we will give you a 6-month subscription to the Science of Mind magazine. Please visit us at seatfm.org to place your donation. I thank you in advance for your loving gift.
Okay, thank you so much for all the richness that you brought. And I'm so glad that you have shown up today. I just want to remind you again, if you're liking the work we're doing in this community, please continue to support us. Your financial gifts do make a difference. It supports us in bringing more quality programming. And for our closing, we're going to share one more song, and that song is from Tina Meeks, and it is about saying yes to love. Please say yes to love. And I invite you to call someone up and just let them know you're thinking about them and sending them a smile to this week. In addition to that, please share this wonderful prayer and this power talk with them. Have a blessed week. We'll see you during the week. Namaste.
Yeah, yeah. I've been saving up these tears for 1,000 days and 1,000,000 years. Now's the time to release all the chains that bind me. I need amazing grace from a friendly face to help me see some love in the human race. Maybe I can turn on the light that wants to shine within me. So I'm gonna say yes, 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 yes to love. disappear the moment I say yes. So I'm gonna say yes, 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 yes to love. Gonna say yes, 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 oh, yes to love. 'Cause you can't give to someone else until you start to love yourself. I'm gonna say yes to love. Yeah, yeah. I've been saving up these tears for 1,000 days and 1,000,000 years. Now's the time to release all the chains that bind me. I need amazing grace from a friendly face to help me see some love in the human race. Maybe I can turn on the light that wants to shine within me. So I'm gonna say yes, 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 yes to love. Gonna say yes, 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 yes to love. There's a saying, love conquers all. So I surrender before I fall. No need to fight, I answer the call of destiny. All the pain and all of the tears, all the shame and all of the fear. Suddenly they just disappear the moment I say yes. So I'm gonna say yes, 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 yes to love. Gonna say yes, 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 oh, yes to love. 'Cause you can't give to someone else until you start